Now, you need to have not more than 2 unknown. So it must be less than 2. You can't have 3 unknowns. You can't resolve. You can't determine if forces are on each member if you have more than 2 unknown forces on each of these members. Now, you deal with the pin joint. By saying pin joint, you focus on this corner and say that you have maybe you say, okay, you have maybe a force going to this direction, assuming that the force is going to this direction, and any maybe you assume that it goes upwards. Okay, then you focus on this joint only to resolve these 2 unknowns. Having calculated your reaction here, maybe this is your reaction A, this is your reaction B. After calculating that, then you have this one as a known, and these 2 are unknown. That means you have a known, therefore you can resolve these 2. That's what is meant by having 2 unknowns.
So, sorry, Mr.
Yes.
I-pin joint lena isesenda okanye yilena ilapha ecaleni emadongeni because imane istaka lena ntsika so andikho sure noba ndithe i-pin joint nayo ilapha emadongeni apha kwiikona zamadonga.
Okay, okay, all right. Now, when I refer to a pin joint, you focus on the joint. There is a joint here. Yeah, respond. There is a joint here. There's a joint here. There's a joint upper pezulu. There's a joint nagoritan. By saying a pin joint, you focus on each corner where there is a joint between 2 members or 3. So you focus on those joints by referring to a pin joint or method of irresolutions. Yes,
Yes, sir, boy. So, in Yama, sir, like it's black, like the screen is black, and all in linear for like about what 3 minutes or 4 minutes to TED, and HE Yama. Like I can't see you. I hear you, but I can't see your Microsoft the platform guy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nakumbi senza loo nto bra uma ku-Teams uphinde ungene.
There's the thing, I tried that, so it's still the same thing. This is the problem. So and like what else besides restarting the phone, then I've missed so much in class. Come on.
Is it? All right. Let's see, boy. Let's see. Let's see, boy.
But so I can switch off and try again. Maybe it'll work this time.
Yeah, please try that, boy. I think maybe the issue is that I'm not using a device layer. I logged in using a link layer denial on the Teams group. So maybe that is the issue. But try to log out and log in again, boy.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, that is the first method. The second one, it says the force diagram, where by saying a force diagram, that is referred to as a vector and a force diagram. You can also resolve a truss using that method. And the third method is the method of sections, where you cut through your truss. But for the purpose of our class, I will only, I will take your hand. I will only focus on method of resolution. Yes, Brian. And boy.
I don't know if Brian's talking or not.
Okay.
So, are you recording this lesson, sir?
Yes, I am.
Because I've missed like most part from the beginning to basically now. I've missed like the lecture. I could hear you, but I could not see you. Like see what you're explaining. So yeah, fine.
Now it's been recorded, boy.
To find these recordings after.
Yes, you'll be able to find them. So
Okay, sir.
So mfundisi, ezi zitrathi zakho mfundisi, yazi asikume uba ziyangaphi i-direction yazo okanye be given.
No, ngizakuxelela uba yenza njani. Don't worry. We will get to that point, and I'll explain how you'll be working.
Okay, so thanks.
Yes. So, Brian.
Okay, sir. I wanted to ask on the unknown points. Can you re-explain on the unknown points? I didn't hear you out clearly.
By saying unknown points, umzekelo ndifocus kule joint yam that has inantsika mouse yam here. You focus on this joint. Yabona? Now, each joint, it's where kudibana i-members ze-trust. So that's your joint. Each joint, like akujoinana izinto, you focus, that's method of joint. So you focus apho kudibana khona inantsika i-trust members. So then you then calculate as unknown. When you use that method, it must be not more than 2 unknowns of members. By saying unknown, I refer into yoba awuyazi into yoba i-force yalapha ithini, awuyazi eyalapha ithini. Yabona? So that's the point. Yes, boy.
Sorry, sir. Drawing yako, is it only like a triangle with 2 ends, or is there more that you've drawn?
There are more drawings that you can get. It's not always this way. That is, I'm making example.
No. So I'm asking the particular layer like is it
Yes.
a triangle, 2 lines?
It's a triangle.
There's nothing
It's
else.
a triangle.
Can you always overlay like on the screen? Because I see if freezily in the so I want to make sure it's in by young.
That is a triangle. That is a triangle. That is a triangle. By ibukeka is a triangle. Masenzeni umzekelo. When you look on
mouse no yakho, your mouse icon, that the thing that follows the mouse. Kumi freezing.
Yes.
Yeah, Kumi freezing. I'm sure it's frozen, like it's not moving. Only thing that is I'm hearing from your side is your voice. And what's on your screen, Emile, like the thing that even you trying to point out things, anyone. And I have 2 bars of network servers. There's a thing, like crazy parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yini.
Oh, bhota tishara, I think iyafana ukuthi sonke nale nto bi-black ne. Nam ndiye ndakufuneka ndilinde imizuzwana. So I think icebo umntu makahlale izawude mhlawumbi ibe rayithi. Ndakum iyazamazama bekade ifrizile. But ziba ndibukele ke ngoku imane ngohamba imawusi yakho. Sendisitsho ke kuSimphiwe naye makazama uba nomonde mhlawumbi iyawuphelisa iba rayithi nayo tishara. Ezi network azilunganga ngapha phandle.
All right. Thanks, Yini.
But the problem is
Brian.
in it. Now
Okay.
continue. Sorry. Because now, if we wait until like simele monde silinde ibuye.
Boy,
How much have I worked umsebenzi? There's the thing. Like then what's the point of having this session in Woku?
now that you guys have a problem, is it only you? How many have the problem? Landa, you have the problem.
No, Menyar, I just wanted to say, Menyar, I'm going to snatch an mhlambi as it joins, like, whose name, like A, B, C, mhlambi, in case I freeze, ikhetha yakho, emntwini mhlambi ngayi network or something.
Okay, that's a better suggestion, Landa. Brian, yena? Okay, maybe you're making a point, Landa. Maybe I must do that and put that as A, and this one as B, and this one as C. Nayibona ngoku? So when you're standing at joint A, therefore you are able to calculate these two unknown. As I've said, if nike niyibone indlu eliqanda, indlu eliqanda yenziwa zii-trusses ezimile in a triangle format. Yabona? So that's a sample of a full truss of indlu eliqanda. Yabona? It might have ezaa zinto too eziyana zilapha ngaphakathi i-braces and here the one also in between in the center. So you might also have those, but by having those, you will be then able, once you determine this one, then you go to the next point, because this one now it's a known. Therefore, in this point, you are able to determine the. Or once you're done with A, you can come and stand at B and then calculate layer lapa, na layer lapa. But layer lapa, yona, once we calculate it at A, therefore it's the same force on this truss. You don't have to calculate it when you're standing at B because you already have determined it using the point at A. Now that's how you will be dealing with. You'll stand on each of the point. Now what you need to take note of is when you're dealing with you resolving in forces on the truss or in magnitude on each of the member. You have in ezizinto here. You have these forces. You see Lena in an arrow pointing Payan, and Lena in an arrow pointing towards this side. Yabon? Now, when you're resolving a truss, as arrow means its intention. Yabon? That is this arrow pulling away from a joint yako, it's a tension. Yabon? And you have this intention and this one intention. When maybe you have resolved your forces, and you find that this force is actually going to this direction, towards the point, towards your joint. That is called it's in comprehension. Yeah, comprehensor. So when it's pointing towards the joint, it's in compression. When it's pulling away from the joint, it's in tension. Yes, Ine?
Tishara, sorry Tishara, ungakwazi uzuma nje kancinci apha enantsika kwi-screen sakho.
Okay. You're writing, oh? Yeah, right. In
Hayi intle mini inkosi Tshara.
All right. Thank you. When I was saying when if force yakho isiya kwelicala, it's intention from this point. Yabona? I-joint yakho ile ndawo. So it's intention. And this one is also intention. That is
Sorry, sir.
towards your joint. It's in compression. Yeah, compressor. Yabona? Intention, iyadzala away. Compression, yeah, compress. Now again,
Sorry, Menyar.
yes,
Yes,
Land.
sir.
Sorry, Menyar. Menyar, Connie guys, I think there are about 2 of them as complain about ibani phuma.
Now, Landa, what will happen? I'm recording the session then. Masiqhubeni uzayimamela, then uphinde unanze kundibuza ka quick question.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, Dibazi.
So, when you're making reference to points, you know?
On Dibazi uphakamisa isandla.
Okay, benifuna nje ubuza ne kwezi arrow from AC and AB busithi mos xa i-arrow
Yes.
isuka from A iye ku-C ngu-intention ne
Intention kule joint ka-A. Le joint
Ka-A,
yakho joint
ne?
A. It's intention.
yeah, and then xa i-arrow isiya from C to A in compression.
Kule joint yakho that you're standing at, if you find
Okay.
that iya ngapha le force lane, you calculate, you find
Okay.
is ngapha, then that is in compression.
Okay.
Yes. Iya ngapha, standing on this joint, it's added like this direction, it's in tension. Yabona?
Oh, okay. Okay, Nkosi.
Yes. Boy,
Sorry, sir. Like when you say point, could you make reference because and the ball is moving mouse still.
I'm
So if you
referring
say,
to A. I'm referring to A.
Okay.
If you are away from A, it's in tension. If you are towards A, point A, it's in compression.
Okay,
Now,
cool.
another
No, when you
thing,
say closer to point,
i-direction yale nto ugqiba uyisolva uzayibala then ube ne-direction oba iya kweliphi icala. Yaqonda? So that's where my reference is. So xa uyibalile wafumanisa into yoba iya towards A, it's in compression. If uyibalile wabona into yoba iya away from point A, it's in tension in each of the points that you're resolving. Okay. Now, again, talking about tension and compression, when your answer is positive, let me write it here, positive answer. That means your force is in tension. Tension. Okay. When your answer that you get after calculating, it's negative, that means it is in compression. Now, this, you can refer this as T, and this, you can refer that as C. After calculating, you get your answer, then you indicate whether it's in compression or it is in tension. Yabona? When you're calculating again, you assume that all forces in each joint, they are in tension. Then your answer will then confirm. That's why if it was, I think it was Landa asking into ezinto zihlala zinje na i-direction yazo. In each of the joint, you assume that they are in tension. Now, by saying so, let's say I've calculated this force and I've determined that it is in compression. That means at point A, it's in compression. Also at point C will be in compression. If lena is in tension upper ku point A, nalapha ku point B, it will be in tension. Now, by keeping londo leyo, it means when you calculating, now let's say you calculating usuka upper ku A, uzobala le lapha ku B. Now, lapha ku B, you already know that this force, the horizontal force here on this truss member, it's in tension. Therefore, you will indicate it as a tension. If it's in compression, upper go A and upper go B, it will be in compression. Therefore, when you indicate it at point B, you will indicate it as in compression. Londo le inceda kwintoba kwi-directions zakho. Now, masithi ke ngoku wenza ubala apha kuphi lento funeka i-directions zakho uzigcine. Masithi ubala apha kuphi, and this one is in tension. Mandiyenze in dotted line. It's in tension. The point lena, it is in tension, which is iyatsala itsalela away from OB. Nalapha ku A betsalela away. Now you'll find intoba ke ngoku njengoba itsalela away and itsalela away nakuphi, that means i-direction yakho xa ubala lena izawuba negative, kweli cala izawube ibi-positive. Now le answer unayo apha ibi-positive, right, in tension, but this one it's in tension but towards a negative direction. Yabona? If it is in compression upper, nalapha ku C, compressor no C uzoba in compression, meaning that it move towards this direction. In compression upper, uzayithola answer yakho in negative because iya towards the negative side or iya downwards. Kweli uyayibona? Iya upwards, which is your answer is positive. The compression iyabe i-positive for i-purpose yakho yobala. Now, let's do this one. Here, another example, right? Now, equation 80 up, determine the magnitude and the type of force acting in each of the member in the framework shown in figure 2.2. Is it 2.2? That is 2.5, figure 2.5, in figure 2.5. Then you have to determine the direction and the force acting in each of the members here. Now, the first point that you do, so that that is figure 2.5, ne? That is figure 2.5. Let's do this. Okay. 2.5, figure 2.5. The truss emile kanje. So it's a truss emile ngolhlobo, and there is inanzika upper a point load down. That is an external force. That is an external force, which is named as 200 that is 200 kilonewtons. That is 200 kilonewtons. And you have a reaction here. At this point, and you also have any reaction at this point. Now, you are also given in Anziga distance here. Yoba usuka apa, total answer ya distance yako ngu 2.5. And upper phezulu, it's been indicated as usuka apa, uza apa to the end, it's 0.5. And I think that is, you have 60 degree the angle, and you have 30 degree on this angle. By having that information here at 60 degrees here and 30 degrees on this side. So you have 60 degrees, you have 30 degrees here, and the total from here to here, it's 2 meters. And usuka apa kwenda uza apa reaction. We can name this as reaction A, and then we can name this as reaction B. Okay, now usuka apa ku point A uza ku B is 2 meters. That is 2 meters. And usuka apa ku 200 uza ku A, it's 0.5 meters. Having this information, it allows you indoba ube able to determine reactions zakho. Now, for instance, you want to determine reaction A, therefore you will then take a moment zakho about reaction B, about B. You will take your moments about B. Now that means you want to determine kubani a reaction at A and kubani a reaction at B. Therefore, your reaction at A will then, you'd say 200. If the usuka up uzagu A, it's 1.5. Therefore, that is 200 multiplied by 1.5. If you're taking moment about A, therefore you know sum of moments is equal to 0. Now taking moments about determining A and taking moments about B. Therefore, we say RA multiply times 2 perpendicular distance is equal to okanye uthi plus RA is pushing upwards, right? And if you taking moments about B, it wants to it pushes such that it will turn into an clockwise direction, taking moments about B. Therefore, RA is positive. You have 200 kilonewtons pushing downwards. Therefore, you say then 200 kilonewtons. If you push it downwards up, that means it will turn into an anti-clockwise direction. Therefore, you will then have a negative 200 multiply. If usuka kule point uza apa ku reaction A, it's 0.5. Therefore, usuka apa uyapha, it will be 1.5. Therefore, you have 200 multiplied by 1.5 meters. N is equal to 0. Then you calculate what is RA wako. That is 200 times 1.5 divided by 2. Therefore, your RA will be 150. Reaction A will then be 150. Yabon? Then RB wako, if lona ngu 200, then RB wako will then be 50 to match na 200 kilonewtons. That is 150 kilonewtons. Now, after determining your reactions, then you need to solve your thrust and determine the magnitude or the force in each of the members. By saying so, you then use a method of joint or a method of resolutions. Now, I will then focus on joint A, kule point lane, and tell mic on, I switch off. Boy, your hand is up. Okay. Now, to solve, then I know that all reaction A1.
Sorry, sir, could you zoom in? Sorry.
Okay. You have your reaction A, it might be not very straight, but that is your reaction A, which is 150. This one, it's a known. You have calculated this one as 150 kilonewtons. That is your reaction A, right? I'm focusing on this joint here. So I have a reaction A1 of 150 kilonewtons that I've calculated here. Therefore, that is 150 kilonewtons upwards. Now, your thrust, I've said, we assume that these members are in tension. Then I will assume that I have the member, Yangapa, and I will also have Lena in tension as well. Upper point A. So that is your A. Now they are in tension up. You assume that they are in tension. Now, by saying so, you then know this one and the angle here. You also know that it is 60 degrees, isn't that so? Now, for you to solve in Anziga Lendo Lena, you then use a sine rule. When sum of these forces, you then say sum of these forces is equal to 0. Now, sine rule, then I know when I calculate this force, I can solve this force by saying sum of vertical forces, sum of vertical forces equal to 0. With this, I can resolve Lene thrust. Lena, I will resolve using the horizontal exam. Now, when I resolve this one, this member, A, that is, maybe we can say this point at C, AC, we're resolving AC. Remember AC, dingamthola ngothi AC, yabona, sine 60. Isn't that so? Andifuna udetermine le ndawo lena, ndingayidetermine using sine 60. Le vertical yalapha ingu-150 iya towards which direction? Towards a positive direction, here upwards. Then I will then say plus 150. 150. Ikhona any vertical? No, there is no other vertical force that is available here. Then I will say equal to 0. And then le vertical yalapha ulena kule ndawo lena ibizoya towards this direction, because ndibala i-vertical yale force ibizoya towards this direction. Isn't that so? Upwards. Yabona? Ibizaya upwards. Yabona? Now, that's why AC wam enjani a positive. Then you can then say AC sine 60 is equal to AC sine 60 is equal to negative. Therefore, the way is say 150 to this side, negative 150. Then I can divide by sine 60 on both sides. Yabona? Therefore, sine 150 divide sine 60, 173.21. Therefore, my AC will be low 150 negative will then be negative 173.21 kilonewtons. That one negative 173.21 means this answer is negative, where we have said a positive answer means tension, a negative answer means compression. Therefore, this answer that you have here, it's in compression. Yeah, but it's in compression. Yeah, but then I've got this AC. I've determined AC. Therefore, this AC, it will be, your AC is 173.21 kilonewtons, which is this member carries 173.21 kilonewtons. We've dealt with AC. Then we can say AB. For us to resolve AB, which is AB, a member, a trust member, ignore 2 meter. AB. Then to resolve AB, because AB, it's in horizontal, then I will say sum of my horizontal is equal to 0. For me to resolve AB, I need to add my horizontals. Now I've determined in Tobana, the force in 173.21, it's in compression rather than tension. Now you see then, it's whereby then you then change. Then we enze ibekwe compression. Yabon? I've calculated now ubane AC, and then we determine that ukwindoni compression. Therefore, I can then maybe say, okay, I want to change the color of this one. How to change it? How to change the color here? Yeah. Yes. AC was, we have determined that we are compressor kule point kule joint ilapha. Now when I'm determining lena, now ndiyayazi into yoba lena straight ingubani, ingu-AB. Therefore ndizawuthi AB uya, because I've assumed that they all in tension. Therefore xa iya kweli cala, xa ikwi-tension isiya kweli cala i-positive. Therefore izawuba ngubani, ngu-AB positive. Yabona? Minus, now i-horizontal yale force ingunantsika ingu-AC. Remember le force lena iyehla kanje, ndiphinde izoba apha, iyaqhubeka yehle kanje. Yabona? Iya kanje mos le force lena, then you have dealt with. So iya to this direction. Yabona? Now le force lena at 60 degree, now we'll then say 173.21 plus negative la 173. Therefore, we are towards your negative direction, minus because of a direction yakhe. Now you see the importance yoba determine a direction yakho, then usebenzise i direction lena uyitholileyo kulento ubuyifuna ekuqaleni for enye calculator related to lento ubuyicalculated before, then you will use the correct direction, which now the compression means le force iya ngapha. Uyabona? Therefore I will say minus 173.21, right? Cos of 60 degree. Uyabona? Is equal to 0. Uyabona? Now then I can say, simple say 173 cos 60 kubani 173.21 times cos of 60 degrees, which now it will be 86.61 AB. Therefore, your AB will be 86.61 kilonewtons. By knowing AB, 86.61, uzawuba njani? Because then in the negative, and the well is positive. Therefore, it positively answer. That means it's in tension. In tension. And then your next point, I've determined ubani AB as sorry. Now we have determined ubani AB. That means we know this truss member ubangubani 86.61. Then for you to determine lena, you have two options. You can come and stand here and resolve it, or you can come and stand at B and resolve lena, because your yodwa intoni unknown. Standing at B. Now, this is 86.61 in tension. That means if the force is in tension apha ku-A nalapha ku-B, it will be in tension. Because we already know uba i-acta njani le force yalapha ikwintoni, ikwi-tension. We don't know uba injani le yalapha. Now, when we draw point B, which is ume kanje, Your point B will then be in this way. We already know into la AB with tension. So we already know this one with tension. Then la point B, lena yona BC or CB, we don't know. And then when you don't know, okay, when you don't know the member, or whether it's intention, the member, whether it's intention or compression, you assume that it is in tension. Fana force, you assume in the positive zone, then you calculate. Then your answer then will tell in the direction. You calculate, you assume most forces that the positive zone until you determine, then you then change in to the negative direction. Yes, Molos.
Okay, mfundisi ndiyayibona ne apho uye wakhatha i-sections zakho then wabala ilandu i-reaction. Then nanso ke upha kwi-compression where we've got negative 173.21. Ndicela undiphinde khona phasi. I get where you get your reactions and apho uye wakhatha khona ilandu i-sections zakho.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, what is happening here? Let's assume by tension then down. So it was with tension because these unknowns the two is. We said there is no more than two forces that will be unknown in your method of resolutions that we're using. Now these are two unknowns, which is the angle it's given. You can switch off your mic.
Okay.
The angle it's given at 60 degrees. And I know the reaction A on 150 kilonewtons. Now, for me to determine the member in AC, then I will then say, okay, the member lena dingaithola by using the vertical yam yalapha. Sum of the verticals exam, which is sum of the verticals exam. Kan bali vertical force yalapha. Dizayibala ngabani ngala AC la force ndizayithola AC multiply by sine 60. That's a sine rule. And wafuna vertical uthi sine 60 multiply by inanzika elicala lengibane hypothesis. Yabona? Therefore, uthatha elicala, xa uyidraw le nto as a triangle, uzathatha elicala, will multiply by sine 60 so that you determine uba ngubani vertical yalapha. That's why in the term, sum of verticals is equal to 0. By saying AC multiply sine 60 is a negative vertical yam. But AC will only mfunayo, yabona? So then I determine AC using law method here, whereby the sum of vertical sum is equal to 0. Yabona? Now, how determine lena horizontal lena AB. That's why in the upper sum of my horizontals is equal to 0 to determine lena. Now, you see in the and AB at the cost of or at the cost of angle, because AB is a horizontal force on its own. Yabona? Upper the AC sine 60 because can't find vertical yam yalapha yale member lena izawusebenza la number 173 multiplied by sine 60. Yabona? Hence in the sum of the vertical sum is equal to 0. I know by using a sine upper ngayithola le magnitude yalapha or le force yalapha. Yabona? Yes. Now, this one is an unknown, we assume. Okay, we assume it's in tension. And we know upper angle angle 30 degrees up, and then here we have reaction B, which is we have calculated as 50 kilonewtons. So lena 50 kilonewtons here will be gonna must be equal to 50 kilonewtons. We know this one. We also know in Doba lena its intention AB was in tension at 86.61 kilonewtons. Yeah, one. Now we know these two, and this one is an unknown at 30-degree angle. Angle yalapha 30 degrees. This one. Yeah, one. So at 30 degrees angle. Now, having that 30 degrees, we will then apply lento then again. We'll then apply lendlela again, because sifuna lento, then we will then use verticals to determine length. Then you say sum of verticals is equal to 0. Then you then say the no B, we are upwards, and vertical yalena, we are upwards again. That is BC. BC, vertical yakona, iyenyuka, iya upwards. Yabon, vertical yalena. Then we then say BC positive, because iya upwards in a positive direction. BC sine 30. BC sine 30. Right? You know, 50 kilonewtons, we are upwards to a positive direction. Then I'll say plus 50 kilonewtons equal to plus 50 equal to 0. Then 50 uzowela abe negative, therefore you then say 50 divided by sine 30. Ibe 100. Therefore your BC will then be 100 kilonewtons. That's your BC. Alternatively, determine BC. You can say you want to stand here, right? For you to determine this side, BC. Then you draw this joint. Say you have 200. You have 200 pushing downwards. Pushing downwards. This is your 200 kilonewtons. Right? We then have determined this AC as the force in compression. If ear compressor, okay, I'm baking now. If ear compressor at A, also at C, it will compress. Therefore, you then draw this as in compression. Yabon? Bese determine upper, the force is in compression, and this one is in tension. Now, lena yalapa, I think I didn't indicate whether where it does it goes. And I'm well so 50 of you negative, therefore divided with 30 multiplied, therefore it's in compression. It's in compression, this one. Let me take you so along Mbeka. Okay, yes, Mbeka.
Suppose not negative.
Negative, yes. It's supposed to be negative in compression, because uzawela la 50 be negative, yabo.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Now, we have BC that we want to determine here, which we don't know. Therefore, I will assume indoba tension up BC. Yabon? Lona AC, right? And Lona, that is AC. Lona 200, and this one will be, BC. Yeah, boy. And this one, it's point C here. We're looking at point C. Looking at point C. Yeah, boy. Now you can resolve using lane point, not only, but the easy one, it's uzakule point ka B, izakwenzela easy. When you're resolving using the point lane, you'll then still say sum of verticals is equal to 0. Now, I'm adding my verticals. Denote 200 here, pushing downwards, which is to a negative direction. That is negative 200. U-AC wam, bendimthol u-AC. The first guy AC bendithol as 173.21 kilonewtons, which is my AC. Then I allow 173.2. Yes. Now go AC.
AC negative na in compression.
Yeah.
Finally R says that.
Okay. Okay. Zakpendula. Yes, so now when I'm listening a question.
Same questions.
Okay.
Because it's a compression for AC. So suppose he is right?
Okay. Boy.
So shouldn't BC face the same way as AC? Because they're both negative.
Imagalo. Ndaziphendula zonke ngizayicacisa le ndawo le. Ngizayicacisa ngoku. Now, what happens? Point AC is, or boy, ubuza ngo BC. No, I'm doing the alternative from the ndlela lena ndisolve ngayo apha. Ndiyakuba you can solve it nangaleni indlela to solve low BC. Now coming to a question yakho Sonca nawe Lungile. AC is in compression. When I say in compression, in any member or in any joint ayakuyo uzofika compress. That means it's a known upushela towards its joint AC. Simtole pushela towards intone its joint up. Isn't that so? Therefore, in any joint oyakuyo ezaw involve la AC wakho uzawufika athini abe in compression. Like with compression, then iya towards intone i-joint yakho nansi and izobe in compression. Yabona? Hence a positive upper. A compressor upper, we are towards intone a positive direction. Yabona? Therefore, you'll then have la plus upper plus 173.21 sine. Now, this is at the angle. I want to determine the vertical line. Now, having let's say this is your Cartesian plane. That's your Cartesian plane. So if here you have 60 degrees, nalapa ule point izoba 60 degrees. Glenda. I hope you can see into about lawuthi apha if ngu-60 apha nakule point ngu-60 degree niyayibona. Yes, ndibaza.
Meneer, understand la AC, la ndawo le uthi kubana iba positive. Ngicela nje uphinde uni-explainele yona because I don't understand ba u-AC ebeyi-compression and then xa uphinde uyi-calculate ngeli hlobo wenza ngalo ngoku ibe ngu-positive.
Okay, all right. Okay, ndizawucacisela ngoku. Mandigqibele yale angle lena. Yeah, if ngu-60 degree apha nalapha izoba ngu-60 degree. Pushela to this direction nakule ndawo lena izawufika ibe ngu-60 degree. Therefore, it will be 173.21 sine of 60. Okay, mandiphinde ndicacise le ndaba lena. Point AC, you have determined as a force in compression. This negative answer means it is in compression. Yeah, bon? Now, I know then, because if this was not negative, turns out it's in tension. Yeah, bon? Now, I know it's in compression because I've got a negative answer. Yeah, bon? When you got a negative answer, it indicates if force yako it's in compression. Now, having that, if AC it's in compression, that means we are compressor to this to point A. Uze up point A wako ngulona here. That means lena ya compressor kwelicala yaphinda ya compressor naku C. So xa compressor ipushela towards point le ukuyo, ijoint le ukuyo. It does not mean izoba negative. Or uzayisebenzisa i-negative. Then xa compressor apha ku C, compressor towards the positive side or towards positive vertical. Isn't that so? I-vertical yalena xa compressor apha ku C izoba njani? Izoba positive. I-vertical yam xa compressor apha ku A izoba njani? Izoba negative.
Oh, so it's like a strat.
Yes.
Okay, meneer, Nkosi.
Ntentule.
Meneer, ngicela ukubuza ne kule nto ka-AC, are we referring to vertical AC okanye u-point C apho ahlale ngo-200?
Okay. Okay. Here, let's try to firstly understand that. Indoba, for me to calculate lena, I'm using the sum of the verticals. Why ndisebenza i-sum of i-verticals zam? Ndiyayazi intoba le ndawo yalapha multiply by le ndawo yalapha sine 60, yabona, will give me vertical, yabona, yabona. Now ndisebenza i-method ethi i-sum of inantsika zam, i-verticals zam is equal to 0. Although this one it's at an angle, but by using le nto ithi u-AC sine 60 plus 150, then it will give me unantsika u-0. Then AC I can resolve yena ngento yoba ndithathe lena ndiwelise u-150 aye ngapha, then ndithathe ndidivide by sine 60 macala. Therefore, I then be able uba ndidetermine u-AC using into yoba i-sum of i-verticals zam is equal to 0. Now, if you were looking for i-verticals zakho, i-sum of your verticals, therefore benzawuthi 173.21 sine 60 plus unantsika u-150 is equal to 0. The sum of i-verticals zam leyo. This is not a vertical. Lo AC is not a vertical. Yayibona? Yes. Now, coming to this point, that's why lena ubonayo ngoku i-positive apha because iyacompressa nakule ndawo iya kwicala elinjani eli-positive. Uyabona? Kulena engu-BC, then I will then say u-BC ndi-assume utoni ukwi-tension apha ku-point C. Then uzoba njani xa kwi-tension uya towards i-negative direction. Then zaba no-minus BC. BC sine of 30. Sine of 30, if ngu-30 kule ndawo lena nalapha izawuphinda ibe ngubani ibe ngu-30. If ngu-30 apha nalapha ingu-30. Yabona? That's why ndisebenzisa le BC sine 30 is equal to 0. Ungayibala lena, but the answer yakho supposed to be 100. Now uzawuthi negative 200 plus la 173.21 sine 60 uzayibethe calculating 173.21 sine 60. That is 150. Then on the plus 200. That is 350. And the plus 200, that is 150 minus 200. Then there's a share on negative 50. Then the total are negative 15, the divided by 0.5 or sine 30, bang 100 on journey or negative. Bang 100 or negative, which is in compression. Which is in compression. Then to Lusapa, say something.
Nothing.
Okay. Becca. Also no. Okay. So that's how you will then resolve the forces zakho. So it's either you do ngale ndlela or you do ngale ndlela. The reason ngale ngalena, that's a quicker way to resolve than this one. Ndizawuphela apha for today. Then I save le nto lena, then ndinike i-class reps in. So we'll then see I will be away, and then let's see Wednesday afternoon. So then we can also try to push. But for today, yeah, that's my story. Okay. Ukhona umuntu one question kulena siyenzile before si
Tishara habe ngicela uphinde nje apha egqibeleni uthi ngu-minus 200 ne?
Yes.
Negative 200.
Yes.
Andicela unje uphinde laa ndaba tishara.
Okay, 173 sine 60 150, right? Therefore, ndino negative 200, right? Uyayibona? Negative 200 plus 150 izawuba ngu-50. Izawuba ngu-50 ne? La 50 unjani? U-negative. Then la 50 u-negative akayo like term no BC sine 60. Therefore ndizawunantsika ndizamthini ndizamwelisenda emsengapha kwe-equal sign afika abe positive. U-BC sine 60 sine 30 u-negative, then divide sine 30 on both sides. Olos?
Okay, Mfundisi, ngicela ukubuza pha kwi-truss, i-forces are they always zikwi-tension all the time okanye just qala ujonge?
No, awuqale ujonge ngosi. What you do, you assume that in each joint ezungazaziyo zikwi-tension.
Oh, okay.
Then le uyaziyo then uzayibeka as is. Yabona umzekelo lena ndiyayazi uba ikwi-compression, therefore that's why ndibeke a compressor to this joint. Yabona? And this one is an unknown. Ayenza yakwi-tension. Yabona? This one, 200, we are compressor yena, it's a known too. Yabona?
Okay, sir. So Teluguza, you focus kwi-joints zakho.
Yes.
Okay.
You deal with each of the joint to resolve.
Okay.
Yabona ngoku ndiyayazi ngoba unantsika u-BC is equal to -100. That's your BC. Yabona? So you focus on each of the joint. So then now I know bangubandena 173. I know leno bangu 100. I know lena obangu 86.61. So ndizazi zonke as trusses uba zikhera how much or i-forces eziphayana kuzo.
Okay, Nkosi Mfundisi.
Yes. Ikhona question ekhoyo enye? Okay, I will save Dini Sandele to your class reps, then you can have the as workout in this and the app. And also recordings, you are able to download them as well using a student number sakho, login email details zakho, the password le yakho uzawukwazi uyenza. Okay. That is my story for today. Thank you. So, Tibanane on Wednesday afternoon.